Everyone thought the alien woman was useless, but to one human, she was a miracle. The colony on Redhar 6 was a bleak place, a world too far from the core systems, where resources were scarce and life was a constant battle for survival. The once thriving mining station had turned into a remote outpost, inhabited mostly by the desperate, the outcast, and the ones who had nowhere else to go. No one expected miracles here. At least, not until she arrived. Her name was Nyssa, and when she first set foot on Redhar 6, she was a mystery. No one knew where she came from. She was a stranger, even among the others who had long since learned to distrust anyone new. Nyssa wasn't like the other aliens who occasionally passed through, the tall, graceful Virilians or the stone-skinned Thraxians. She was shorter, delicate, with long, translucent skin that shimmered faintly under the station's dull lights. Her large, shimmering eyes, the color of deep ocean, were both beautiful and unsettling. At first, the station's inhabitants whispered about her strange appearance, her silent ways. No one spoke her language, and she didn't seem to understand theirs. She wasn't a fighter like the Virilians. She wasn't a worker like the humans. She was useless. That's what they said. She'll be gone in a week. If she doesn't starve first, they muttered. But the rumors didn't seem to bother Nyssa. She simply kept to herself, walking through the dusty halls, her soft footsteps barely making a sound. She always kept her distance, observing others without speaking. The workers dismissed her. The traders ignored her, and the children, too innocent to understand their prejudices, sometimes tried to approach her, only to be met with silence and avoidance. No one cared about her, except for me. My name's Luca, and I was a maintenance tech at Redhar 6. I spent most of my days crawling through ducts, fixing broken systems, and cleaning out the old mining equipment that no one had bothered to maintain in years. It wasn't glamorous work, but it kept me busy, and I wasn't one to complain. I first saw Nyssa in the far corner of the station, near the old garden patch the colonists had once used to grow food before the soil ran dry. She was sitting there, hands folded in her lap, her eyes closed as if she were meditating. It was a strange sight in a place so full of noise and motion. For some reason, I found myself drawn to her. "Hey!" I called out, feeling awkward as I approached. "You okay?" Nyssa didn't react at first. She just sat there, her long, silvery hair swaying gently with the station's artificial gravity. But then, slowly, she opened her eyes and looked at me, those deep, dark eyes that seemed to pierce right through me. I expected her to say something, maybe a strange alien language, or a gesture that would tell me she wasn't interested in talking. But she did something else entirely. She smiled. It was a small smile, the kind you might give to a child or someone who was incredibly lost. It was gentle and serene. For a moment, I thought I might be the one who was out of place. "I'm Luca," I said, fumbling slightly with my words. "I work here. I maintain things. If you need help with anything, I'm around." She nodded slowly, her gaze never leaving mine. She didn't speak, but somehow I felt understood. From that moment, I started noticing Nyssa more. I'd find her in the strangest places, always observing, always silent. But it wasn't until the accident that I realized how wrong everyone had been about her. It happened late one evening. The mining rig in the lower levels had a catastrophic failure. The energy shields that protected the station from the dangerous cosmic radiation from the nearby star flickered and went offline. The alarms blared, and the station systems locked down as people scrambled to fix the breach. I was down there, trying to troubleshoot when the power grid went dark, with the radiation increasing. I knew we didn't have much time before the shielding was completely compromised. The station was going to burn. I ran for the control room, hoping to reach the override, But I wasn't fast enough. The others were already in a panic, running from one corner of the station to the other. There was no one left who had the technical know-how to handle the crisis, except for me. But even I didn't know how long I could hold out against the breach. That's when I saw her. Nyssa was standing in the doorway, completely unaffected by the chaos around her. She looked serene as ever, her eyes scanning the room with a quiet focus that seemed impossible given the circumstances. She didn't look scared. She didn't even look rushed. She just knew. Without a word, she stepped forward, moving past the scrambling workers and emergency responders. Her fingers brushed across the control panels, and to my surprise, the alarm stopped. The lights flickered, then steadied. I couldn't believe my eyes. She was doing something I had no idea how to do. She was fixing the systems, with nothing but her hands and some sort of energy flowing from her fingertips. "How are you?" I began to say, but Nyssa raised a finger to her lips, silencing me. Her movements were deliberate, graceful, as if she had done this 1,000 times before. The systems, which had been failing for hours, were now slowly coming back online. The radiation level started to drop, and the station's shields began to pulse with power once more. Finally, with a soft hum, the crisis was over. The station was safe, and no one could explain how. The next day, I found Nyssa again, sitting in her usual spot near the old garden patch. I sat down beside her, watching as she simply gazed at the small, struggling plants that had somehow survived the station's neglect. "You saved us," I said, my voice still in awe. You're not useless, Nyssa. You're a miracle." She turned to look at me, that serene smile returning. But there was something different in her eyes now, something that seemed like recognition. She had known all along what her purpose was here. "I only gave what I could," she said softly, her voice as gentle as the wind. "In your world, miracles are often hidden behind simple acts. Sometimes you need to see with different eyes to understand." I watched her, still amazed by her quiet power. She had done what no one else could. She had saved us all. "You're not useless, Nyssa," I repeated, my voice firm. "Not to me, not to anyone who's seen what you can do." She said nothing, but I could feel the weight of her quiet acknowledgement. She had found her place here, even if no one else understood it. And in that moment, I understood her too. In the weeks that followed, Nyssa became more than just a mystery. She became an integral part of Red Har 6, while the others still whispered about her, calling her strange or unpredictable. I knew the truth. Nyssa was a miracle, and sometimes miracles arrive in the most unlikely forms.